Virgo, don't be surprised if suddenly you're a magnet for people who need advice or want advice. Um, this is definitely a time when everything that, because Mercury is in retrograde, but it's in retrograde in Aquarius, and you know how Mercury impacts you because it's very intimately connected to your energy. It is you're a ruling energy. But being an Aquarius is very non-judgmental. It's just sort of broadening and expanding. So there's a way to actually look at things from their past, episodes, in a very clear, objective way to understand them from a different perspective and basically learn from them. So it's a very kind of, there's a lot of potential right now. There's a lot of potential opportunity to get right with anything inside of you that you've been uncomfortable looking at or facing. Right? And because of this, you're becoming a lot more compassionate. Where you could have rushed to judge very quickly something or something, something that somebody is going through. That's not where you're at right now, because there's just a natural connection in you. Because remember, Aquarius is also the house of friendship, the house of community. There's something so intense inside of you to be drawn to understanding and relating to other people, which is compassion. Seeing your experiences in others, knowing how shitty you felt while you were going through it. Recognizing those times in your life when you did something similar. And so calling people to you in a lot of ways, because people want empathy. People want sympathy. And I don't think you're necessarily going to give people sympathy, but definitely compassion. Because compassion comes from experience. It comes from, you know what, I've been there. And sometimes through life, we actually become so objective with other people that we forget we've been there. We forget that we've done that shit too. Right now, you're acutely aware because of Mercury going backward, right? It's like you're acutely aware of all the shit you've done and how it impacted others, how you were affected by others. And now you can connect to others so much more profoundly, right? So ultimately, it is your connection with the divine, that Uranian energy, that is helping you to become somebody that is, well, first of all, a lot more blessed. Why? Because you understand your blessings. You're also accepting of how far you've come. And you're also a hell of a lot more accepting of your own truths inside of you. Those aspects of yourself that once you felt ashamed of, or you didn't want to look at, or they were too painful for you. It's like they turn the key and open you up and provide that fuel that you can use to actually connect to other people. Now, a lot of Virgos do this through music. They do. I've said it to you a lot, but a lot of Virgos do. They connect either through favorite songs and playlists, and being able to, if they can't put it into their own words, being able to hear a tune and relate to the music and share the music to help other people understand how they're feeling, or to actually write, and then some to perform the music itself. It's like to take all those intangible things, those things that you didn't want to touch about yourself. But if you write them into a song, or you write them into, you could even be like, usually it's more Gemini energy to like write a novel or the written word. But it doesn't have to be, Mercury is Mercury. So any kind of thing where you're writing it down and you're using your vocabulary to articulate your emotions or to simulate your emotions. And at the same time, music has this beautiful way of also kind of keeping you at a safe distance from people. So you could like bare your soul, but you can also be personally still safe because it's controlled and it's metered. and you're the one that makes the song ultimately, but it touches other people. It's like a bridge, it's like a connectivity, and that's what I'm feeling for you right now. There's like this bridge and there's connectivity between you and others. So there's such a sense of understanding and comprehension that maybe you didn't have before, and self-actualization that maybe you didn't have before. And I have a feeling that this happens every time Mercury's in Aquarius, but ultimately when it's in retrograde, there's a little bit more retrospective. There's a little bit more, I'm going to remind you, right? That feeling of, I'm going to remind you of what you had been through, what you did, what you said, right? So that you can relate to the current circumstance or situation. When I looked at your cards, I instantly thought of this scenario. It's more of a metaphor, but just hear me out. I thought of this scenario. Being able to look at somebody and see the most horrible, disappointing parts of them, but know that you unconditionally love them. Now, that doesn't mean that you tolerate their shit, right? It's almost like seeing somebody walking in on somebody doing drugs, or walking in on somebody like cutting themselves, or walking in on somebody like doing some nasty shit, or doing things that really disappoint you, right? And being able to look at them dead in the eye and say, this isn't acceptable. You need to figure out that you're better than that, and walk out. So it's like you're able now to maintain your boundary while maintaining your love, while maintaining your belief in their most beautiful parts. It's about being able to see somebody's ugly, but still retain the picture of them as beautiful, right? It's not about being delusional. It's not about not seeing it, because Virgos, especially when it comes to romantic relationships, there's so much you guys put away and try to justify, which ends up being a real heartache and heartbreak for you, because it's another burden that you shoulder. It's another burden that you shoulder. This is not you shouldering burdens. This is you letting that person keep their fucking burdens, keep your fucking shadows. But even though you've seen the shadows, you still understand them as a whole person, and you still remember their light. It's a very beautiful time for you. That's what I'm saying. Now, I do believe that there is kind of exposure. I don't know which side it's on. It could be from you to them to you, but there is sort of some exposure of, shit. Somebody's shit. The ways that somebody fucked up, the way that somebody messed up, the ways that they weren't perfect, and those things that they still have to work on. But that's what I'm talking about. It's like giving somebody a chance. Giving. Instead of receiving, giving somebody a chance to practice, to do it again, to try again. Not because you're in denial of the fact that they fucked up, but because you can't not believe that they still have the potential to be perfect at it if they keep trying. This is basically, you could run into a hairy situation. This situation, this is a situation where there's confrontation, where there is conflict. There's definitely conflict here, but it doesn't have to be all out war. Because the truth of the matter is, both of these characters are trying to guard something and protect something that's very important to them. They're not trying to be evil to each other, but when they stand in defensiveness, they're enemies. When they open up and see their similarities, they're friends, and they don't have to fight at all. And that's the choice that you toggle on right now in this energy. Do I react in defensiveness? Because when I react in defensiveness, ultimately what that is me not accepting a part of myself. And if I can't tolerate it in myself, then I'm going to definitely fight it in somebody else. But if I accept who I am, uncompromisingly and unconditionally, that helps me broaden and expand my compassion. And I think that that's what's going on right now, is you honestly reaching out to somebody, as in, maybe not even reaching out to somebody, being extra empathetic, like finding yourself saying things like, I've done that too. I remember that I've been there. And you might be surprising a lot of people. But you know what? Share your gifts. Use this energy for what it's worth while you have it. While there's no fear and no worry about it contaminating or harming your life. In fact, you know that there isn't. Share your gifts, share your way, share your knowledge, your wisdom, your expressiveness. Clean up your mess is here. It's like share your gifts and clean up your mess. You're doing it simultaneously. Clean up your mess being, like, in other words, acknowledging that you're messy too. Acknowledging where your imperfections are. And so what do we qualify as imperfections in somebody else if we, as soon as we see somebody else, can first remember our own imperfections? And that's going to broaden you and expand you to the point where you can give so much more because you recognize them in you and you in them. Holy shit. These blew me away. It's like bam. Everything that you hid in the dark, those maybe things that you were scared of, ashamed of, or they were really difficult for you, it's like they're your key to success. This is like opening up all of those shadow sides, all of those demons, opening up to it, to them. And it's like, that's your key. Your key is through it's 8-8 too. Wow. 8-8 is like abundance coming into you. So in other words, this is going to hit you in abundance. This, all of a sudden, this comprehensiveness. And it's like, this is the shit that's falling on you before the tunnel opens up to light. And so even though it may seem heavy right now, it's actually, you can climb up out of it and get out of anything you were stuck in. I hope you're following that metaphor. Expect powerful change is here. New moon eclipse. Maybe even a change, yes, change in you. As above, so below. As within, so without. Right? This is a change. A change maybe even in a relationship, because where somebody expected you to behave a certain way, react a certain way, you didn't. Maybe realizing that behavior is old, man. It's stupid. And it's not getting me anywhere. And you know, it's about productivity. It's about process. It's about what works and what doesn't. And if part of me and the way that I address things isn't working, then I'm going to change it. But there's a big life change coming here too. By getting on your knees and humbling yourself. Just give it over to God. And it's hard, I know, because you like to have a handle on things. Which is another reason why this is different. Maybe that's the difference. Is like being like at a point where you're like, I'm good not controlling. I'm good not taking the reins. I'm good. Let Jesus take the wheel. Because I don't know about this. I'm not experienced with this. I'm not perfect. I can't. You know, I wouldn't be able to figure my way out of this. This isn't about my ego. This is about what I know that I can do, what I'm capable of. And having no fear of those limitations. But not like reveling in them either. It's not like settling on a limitation and being like, yeah, I'm limited. Get off my back. It's more like, okay, what do I do about these limitations? How do I work through them? Communicate with spirit. Once again, surrender to the divine. There's a lot of this energy right now. So you're being really impacted by the cosmos, the divine, your sense of spirituality, your sense of connectivity to something bigger than who you are. And maybe your sense of your sense of responsibility to something outside of yourself. Interesting. Now, this is how I know it had to do with a lot of internal reflection. Work within yourself. Look in the mirror came out. And this is about self-acceptance. expansion through acceptance. And then we have notice the patterns, which is understanding. Look at everything that you've been through. Everything like, look back. Was I like that? Oh, I was like that. So when I see somebody like that in front of me now, can I hate them? Or now, no, I'm not going to hate them. I'm not going to judge them. I can relate to them. You are relating to people more and more lately because you see yourself in them more and more lately. And that's why they become more and more precious to you. Be a channel. I just said as above, so below. Taking divine messages. You definitely are so aligned with a larger purpose right now. With things that are more important than you. It's almost like even in little petty things, you're just like, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue because this isn't important. What's important is that we stay on this track. You know, I don't like what you just said to me. And maybe I just saw somebody steal something off the shelf at work. But ultimately, it's like, let me find out why they did that instead of report them. Because honestly, we got a big, broad picture here of the person. You know, why are they stealing? I will report you if you keep doing it. But why? Why? What's going on? But even like the little things, this sense of like nitpicking and perfectionism, they don't matter so much right now because your perspective is on what really matters. Are we happy? And you're willing to like give away any kind of extra pressure or added pressure, basically because something is more important. Don't compromise. It's like that person who, you know, was disappointed by the other person. You don't have to be willing to compromise. But you don't have to compromise your love either. You don't have to compromise your capacity to love either. But at the same time, it's like, okay, that shit, I'm not having it in my life. You know where to find me when you are ready. So you're setting a boundary. You're not compromising, you're compassionizing. If that's even a word. I made it up. If you like this video so far, Virgo, please give it a thumbs up. Also, share it on your social media profiles because that really helps the channel to grow. Also, click subscribe and ring that bell. Hit all notifications. Be sure that all notifications are turned on under that bell so that you know when I upload all of your 12 videos every single week. Every zodiac sign gets a brand new video. And that's not time sensitive, but there's a new video every week. Virgo specific content comes out every single Friday. And so you'll know as soon as I upload them. I also, Monday through Friday, give a free daily tarot card reading over on Instagram. So you can catch me live on Instagram every single day or Monday through Friday, and we can interact. And it's just a general reading for people who need to hear it. So you can find me at Born_without_boundaries. I'm definitely there. And then last but not least, there's always an extended reading. And it's a tarot card reading and a romance reading. It's a 2-in-1 reading. So you get a twofer in the extended below. So every single week, there is a Virgo specific romance reading. It's just in that extended video. And of course, the tarot card reading is just a deep dive. This is more philosophical over here with the oracle cards. Tarot gives us specific answers, challenges, and solutions. So there's always a link, and you can subscribe right over there too, so that you'll get access to the extended readings about a day before people on YouTube get access to them. FYI. Lots of ways. So Spirit has a plan. This is coming out upside down. Something else came out upside down too. Okay. Use your mind wisely is here. It was actually flipped upside down. This is my When Pigs Fly card. It's almost like you thought something was impossible. It's like you thought something was impossible. For some reason, you didn't give up on it. But that definitely wasn't what Spirit wanted for you. So there was definitely a hard lesson that you had to learn here about never giving up on something, because this reading isn't about never giving up. This is about not judging and being compassionate and knowing that you have a right to walk away, but you have a right to do so with no hate, with no sadness, without carrying those burdens with you to influence, impact, or infect future experiences. These are flipped upside down too. This is not appreciating yourself, a soul sickness, a sadness inside of you. Those aspects of you or dynamics of your personality that actually degraded who you are and made you lesser, moved you away from your potential, or gave too much, didn't respect yourself, didn't have any boundaries, and let too many rats in. Let too many people in that were just kind of gross and corroded. So there is a sense of becoming wiser. Or once you may not have had any wisdom at all. Now you're wiser. You're getting to understand the importance of something about this is off. It's like I'm missing something, Virgo, and I will find it. All of these are off. I don't like that. It's Aquarius energy. It's everything coming out upside down, seeming topsy-turvy and seeming like it's bad luck, when in fact it isn't bad luck at all. It's forcing you to stand on your head and do a step out of your comfort zone. Spirit's requiring it. Right now, the worst thing that you can do is insist on being the same old you and sticking to the same old modality that you've always stuck with. So it's the worst thing. Gemini energy, life is speeding up. Things will come together. Things are coming together. But it's almost like kind of like realizing, oh, fuck. Think on your feet. You don't want to. This is refusing anything that's new. Now is a lucky time. It's limiting your luck. It's limiting your success. Lay a solid foundation. And it's ricocheting. It's rocky. It's crumbling. It's seeing where insisting upon one way, refusing to compromise, refusing to give, refusing to see another perspective, it's seeing how that actually destroyed something. It's remembering that. And it's this lesson in particular that you're being compassionate about. And that's opening up and breaking open your empathy. That's really interesting. Gemini energy, one-on-one communication. You might be talking with somebody or having a long conversation with them that kind of like makes you realize something. Makes something come to the forefront of your mind. And it may not be those aspects or dynamics of yourself that you're proud of, but ultimately, it's making you grow. I can't explain it. There's so much going on here. Let me go to the angel messages. Faith. Because this foundation's all fucked up. There's limitations. It could very well be, almost like you're stuck. You don't have as many options as you thought you would. And it's irritating you, it's pissing you off, and it's making you feel smaller and less significant than you like to feel. But in this way, it's also kind of making you realize how other people feel. It's giving you an opportunity to be more empathetic. Precious gift. Friendship, family, and love are precious gifts. Do not lose sight of what is most important. Okay. Achievement. Take a little time to reflect on what you have achieved to date. It is often easy to forget where you started from and how far you've come. Honor and be grateful for this extraordinary journey that is your life. I'm frustrated. There's something I'm fucking missing. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe that's it. 25. This is divine counterpart energy. It is something you've been missing. It's something that you didn't see that was right in front of you the whole time. You've been fighting it inside yourself. And now it's logical. Now you're grasping it. Now you realize it. Intellectually, it's come to your consciousness. You've been fighting it. You've been keeping it down. Intuitively, it's been there for a while, but now you know it. Now you know it. And you accept it. Or you confront it. Trust. All will work out well. We, your angels, are here to nurture, protect, and heal you. Trust in the healing power of our love. We love you more than you will ever know. Faith. Do not lose faith. The storm clouds will soon clear, and the sun will shine once more. Sacred space. We, your angels, surround you with emerald, gold, and rose pink light. Surrender your concerns and worries and enter this sacred space of love and healing. There's a lot of protective energy around you right now. Kindness. A kind gesture rekindles your belief in the power of love. Remember to be kind to yourself. This is really bothering me, and I'm going to tarot right away because I want this articulated. I don't want any confusion. I will see you guys in the extended. Link is below.